Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Getting the Most Out of Your Work series. My name is Voodoo Val, and for today's video, we are going to focus on video editing. In today's video, we are going to go through how you can take raw footage that you have of anything at all. In my case, the footage of our Knox painting, and we're going to take it in, we're going to make a time lapse of it, and I'm going to show you how you can very easily edit videos in Adobe Rush for your YouTube channel, for your Instagram, for Twitter, or any social media outlets that you prefer to upload videos to. In a very attractive way so that you can continue to create awesome content with the same project that you have going. I also want to mention that the MSI Creator 15 that I'll be working on today is actually on sale, so if you check out the link in the description below, you will be able to take full advantage of that. So let's get started. Before I begin our video today on editing, I'd like to make note of the Creator Center. So as you can see over here on my right hand side of the Creator Center panel in the MSI Creator 15 settings, I've got all of my work apps set to priority so that I know I'm getting the best performance out of this laptop while I am working on all of my projects. Another thing that you can do is you can come over into the color settings and make sure that you set your Creator 15 to Adobe RGB 100% to make sure that you are utilizing the true pixel display on the Creator 15 to its fullest potential, and all of your colors are going to appear exactly as you intend them for your audience while creating your work. So as you can see, what I've got in here is the footage of the Knox painting that I've done for the original video, the first video in this series where I did the actual digital painting, and I've got it knocked down to about 4 minutes and 30 seconds. I've just changed the duration of what was actually like an 8-hour process, and I know you don't want to sit here and watch that render, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you in the speed settings how you can actually change the duration of videos for yourself. So up here, if I hit this speed icon, you can see there's a lot of really great settings in here for me to choose from. They've got the range of my video, so if I change this range, you can see that it actually changes the range on my video clip. So if I move that down, you can see down here this little pink region right here shows me which part of my video I'm actually starting to edit, and I can change the speed and duration of just that part of my video, which is really awesome. But I know that I want to change the duration of an entire clip, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the range span the entire clip, and then what I can do is I can start sliding this range speed up and down to change, or what I can do is I can change it in the numerical region up here to like 100 or 200%, whatever I'm looking for, or I can change this clip duration down here, like if I know I want it exactly 4 minutes, because I have specific requirements for a video, I can change that to 4 minutes. And I had changed it to 4 minutes and 30 seconds. I think I'm going to leave it at like an even 4 minutes because that works for me. And that's just like a really easy way that you can jump into Rush and change the video. So you can see it's right at the 4 minute mark right here. And that is, honestly, that's perfect for me. 4 minutes is a great length for a time lapse. It's easily digestible, and it's a great length for consumption. Like a lot of people will probably stick around for a 4 minute time lapse of a video. And that's where I'm gonna leave that. Now I can scrub through and I can start cutting my video up. So if I leave my scrubber here on a specific portion of my video, I can come over to the left-hand side, hit cut or split your clip, just like that. And you can see I've got now 2 different clips to work with, and it split it right where my little cursor was. So now I've got these 2 different clips here, and I can start editing them together. I can even cut more parts, and I can drag portions of these cut clips to anywhere in my timeline. You can see it bumps things to the left and and right to make room for whichever clip I'm trying to drag and change, which is really cool. I can also delete portions with the delete button. So say I would like to kind of remove this first clip here, I can come over and click this trash button and it will remove it. And I can also duplicate portions of my my file just by clicking a clip, hitting duplicate, and it will just duplicate my clip that I am looking to work with. But I'm going to go ahead and Control Z and kind of back up because I do want to use my whole clip here. I want to make sure I don't have any breaks in it. And I am going to start working with this. Now the next thing I'd like to add in here is some other clips and pieces of video and images that will make my video a little more complete. So I've got an intro that I like to add, and we're going to create an outro for this video. I also would like to add like this painting, like the finished version of this painting to the end, so that after folks watch my whole time lapse, they can actually get a nice still shot of my image. So I'm going to hit this plus button in the top left. I'm going to click your media, and you can see it opens up the most recent file, or the most recent folder with all of my files in it. This is the folder that I actually do want to go to, but if you need to navigate, you can just click this back button here to go and kind of look around on your system for the folder that you need to pull up your files. Now, I'm going to click my intro here because this is the intro that I am going to want to add to my video, and then click add. And you can see what it does is it adds that new piece of content to the end of whichever clip I had selected. And I can just drag that to the very beginning of my file here because I know that I want it to be at the beginning. Another quick tip is this scroll bar here that you have at the bottom. If I grab these brackets at the very edge of it, I can actually zoom in and out of my content here. So I can make it smaller to zoom. I can drag it to the edge of my canvas so that I can see the full breadth of my video, just in case I need to either see everything that I've got, all the content in my video, or I need to be able to kind of zoom in and work more closely with portions of my video. Now what I want to do is I'm going to edit the intro, because my intro, the way that it works is it's actually also my outro. I know that that maybe seems a little weird, but I'm going to show you how I edit my intro to fit the outro. So this last little bit here, you can see that I'm previewing. It's got just that little part where my logo pops up and then it bumps up the tagline. That's what I want. So I've duplicated it. I'm dragging it to the end. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually crop the video. I'm going to actually cut it. So right here at the end where it shows this logo, I'm going to back up a little bit. What I want is the moment where that logo is a perfect solid white. It's not showing the paintings kind of cycling through the shape of the logo anymore. Just before this little ampersand pops up right here, I just want it right there. I want to cut it. Boom. Delete that front part, and then what I'm going to have is something I can fade into that, just if I hit this delete, and then it just has the logo. If I play it here, it goes straight up into, like, my logo bounces up, it says Voodoo Val, and it fades to black, and that looks really good. There's some transitions and things that we need to add, but we'll be getting into that just a little bit later. Next, I'm going to add this image because this is the final image of my painting, and it's added it to the end here. I'm going to zoom in because what I'm going to do is show you how you can edit images. So you can see if I hover over the edge here, it's got this little drag cursor that appears, and this image looks like it lasts about 3 seconds, but I can actually drag it out. And I can make it last about 10 seconds. So like 10 seconds on a freeze frame, so people have a moment or two just to take this in. So it'll just last and show people like this is the final product, you know, of the painting. And I want to drag it so that it is between the end of my time lapse and my outro. So it'll go from the video, people are watching it come together, you know, and then it'll pause on the painting itself so folks can get a good look at it. And then it'll go into the outro, which I think looks really nice. And the next thing we can do is add some video animations to this. So one thing that I think would look really cool at the beginning and maybe in some other points of our video is to add some kind of animation that's like, I don't know, maybe like a little subscribe or something like that. So I'm gonna kind of go into the graphics in Rush, because Rush actually has Margaret files, motion graphics files included for free in here that you can actually select from. And you can go to Adobe Stock and other places that have motion graphics files, and you can purchase some to use. But if I click this graphics button here and go to add graphic, on the left hand side it'll pull up in this tray that has all of these really beautiful, nice looking, attractive animations for me already. I can hit more and look through all of these. You can see there's so many like scene transitions and title animations and watch more animations and callouts and lower thirds and stuff that are available for all of us to use. But I know I want to subscribe one, so I'm going to go ahead and use the search. I'm going to say subscribe, and I'm going to see what comes up for subscribe graphics. We've got some great ones. You can see like this one here, please like and subscribe, and it's got a little arrow here that kind of points down from your video off the off camera to wherever your subscribe button is on your profile. We've got these really awesome pages that are pretty popular, I think, to put at the end of videos. It's got like the next and the watch now and all of those things that we can put, the thanks for watching, good stuff like that. We've got this nice one, the social media title, that has like, you know, the title and then a little subtitle that you can edit and throw in there. But I really did like kind of this subscribe, this clean subscribe here, and I'm gonna add this one because I don't think it'll be super intrusive. It'll still look very cohesive with my video, and it's pretty nice looking. So I can drag it and drop it and just place it right in my file. You can see it just puts it into another layer up on top of my video, and if I scrub through here you can see, boom, there's a little subscribe text. We've got our play button, and I can come in here and edit this if I want, which I don't because it says what I want, but it's not the right size. So I'm going to I'm going to drag this over to a better position. I'm going to resize it in from the corner right here, make it a little smaller. And I think the best place for this is actually going to be over on the part of the video that shows my layer panel, because there's some empty space right there. It's not going to be impeded by anything in the video because not a lot of stuff's going to be moving over there. It's going to be legible and not too intrusive right there in the corner. So I'm going to go ahead and position that where I want. I think that looks really good. I think it kind of fits in with the UI almost. Now let's preview it. If I just hit spacebar to play, and boom, pops up. Beautiful, love it. I think that's great. And then it just disappears, short, sweet, to the point, and it's really very nice looking. If I want to, I can actually do this a few times. I'm thinking maybe at the beginning of my video and at the end of my video, because if somebody's watching all the way to like the end thereabouts of the time lapse, they probably have enjoyed the video, they've seen something they like, so maybe another little reminder to subscribe at the end of my video would be really nice. Honestly, I could put it on the actual image right here because there's not a lot going on over here and it would look nice. So I'm just going to click it, hit duplicate, and then it's put it on another layer, but I'm going to drag it down to the same level, and I'm just going to position it over here, right over the beginning of our image. And if I scroll over here, I can preview it. I think it was in a good space, so I don't think I'm going to actually change it. Boom, subscribe. I like that. That's perfect. That's beautiful. And there we go. So I have like a little beginning and ending subscribe reminder. You really never have to leave Rush because they have so many wonderful things at your disposal to edit your video. You can pretty much find anything you need for a good looking YouTube video right here in the app. Now the next thing I'm going to do is add some transitions, because we've got some pretty good looking stuff in here, but there's some pretty hard cuts in between all of these clips, you know? Like for example, the beginning here, my outro or my intro has like a natural fade, but then the video just begins like a hard cut. So, you know, the intro looks really good, but the animation of the time lapse doesn't. Right here, boom, hard clip from the end of the time lapse directly into the image. That's pretty abrupt. And then right here at the end, from the image directly into the little makeshift outro is not really that attractive. So what we're gonna do is explore some of the effects, which is up here right under the graphics. You can just hit the effects button. There's a lot of stuff available in here: transitions, pan and zoom, auto reframe, all that good stuff. But right now what we're going to use is the transitions. Now the transitions are cool. There are so many to choose from. It's very intuitive and organized very nicely. So if you're not familiar with how to use transitions, this will be actually, I think, pretty easy to dive into. So I'm just going to position myself over here where, you know, and kind of take a look at this transition. I'm going to zoom in, grabbing these brackets, and kind of zoom into the this break in clips, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to just select this fade to black, because that's my favorite one that I like to use, and I can just honestly, right over here where these two clips are separated, I can grab this fade to black and just literally drag it over. Boom. And just, as you can see, if I hover over here, I've got this little icon that looks kind of like a band-aid over a dividing line, or a band-aid on a cut here. And that's literally what it is. You know, that transition is just kind of sticking together these two clips in a nice way. You can see it adds this little tiny transition, almost like a little connector between these two clips. And you can see, ooh, yeah, that looks nice. It's a nice kind of flow into one another. But I can also kind of like zoom in here and kind of give you a better look at it. You can see I've really got this, like I said, like a little band-aid that just kind of connects the two, and you can see it makes it super, super cohesive. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drag one to each of these other spaces. So right here between the time lapse and the image, and then between the image and our outro right there. And then I'm going to go ahead and scrub over here and kind of check these out, see what they look like. So that one was a little short, honestly, for my liking. I might need to edit that. But this one here after the image, let's see this one. That looks slick, and you can see how that makes the little outro, the makeshift outro, look even better. Like once that fade, check that out. That fades in, it just goes boom, Bootyval. Yeah, I like it. But this one's a little short, so I'm gonna come in here and I think I'm gonna edit this transition, because I'm not really liking it that much, to be perfectly honest. So if I grab my little end bracket here for my navigation bar, to zoom in, I'm gonna look for my transition here. Where is, oh, there it is. I'm going to click on here, and as you can see, I can actually hold and click and kind of drag this out. Oops, not the actual footage. Let me click. There we go. I can grab that end of the transition. I can drag it out and actually make it longer, so it can encompass a little more of each clip to the left and right of it. So if I let that go, scrub back, and check that out, looks a little something like this. Boom. Nice. It's a lot smoother. It's a lot nicer. And then it fades into the next portion, which I think looks pretty darn good. Pan and zoom, for those of you who are unfamiliar, it's literally what it sounds like. We're just going to pan and zoom across the image. If I select that image layer, turn on pan and zoom, you can see this start box. That shows where the image pan and zoom is going to start from. And then this end box that is around here, it's going to zoom out to meet the borders of that ending box right there. So it'll go from there, and it'll go on into that end. And I can actually edit this if I want. If I wanted to make this starting box way smaller and put it around his eye right there, then we could zoom out like from his eye into the regions, the borders of this ending box. But I actually think this is great. I don't want to do anything too dramatic. So you can see it goes from that pan, and then it goes out into that larger version. So that's kind of a fun way just to kind of make something look a little more interesting. You know, that's especially a still shot, you know, because a still shot, you can have like a flat still image in your video if you want, but I kind of want something a little more interesting. So that is what I'm going to do. Now the next step is going to be animated callouts, and the animated callouts are going to be very, very similar to how we created the subscribe animations. The only difference is that when I put the subscribe animations in there, it was perfect as is, but the callouts, I'm actually going to get into some editing on them. So I can change colors, I can change font, I can change the colors of the font, I can change all kinds of stuff, I can change what they say, and so we're gonna do that. I think what I'm gonna do is find some portions of my video that I can break into like sections of the process, and I'm gonna denote them. So this beginning area here looks like a sketching area, so I'm gonna move my subscribe back like I did, and then right after that subscribe disappears, I'm gonna put a little call out right there that just says something like stage 1 or step 1, and then like sketching phase or something like that. So I'll add graphic again. I can select what I want. This title and subtitle one here looks nice, but honestly, I kind of like this clean and fast. This is kind of pretty, and it's got a little splash of color on it. So I'm just gonna double click that and throw that into my file. Notice it placed it right there after my scrub, and look at that. That's pretty. It needs some editing because it's like pretty big and it's over the top of my stuff here, but I'm gonna click it and I'm gonna drag and resize from the corner like I did for our subscribe. And I am going to, I think right here would be a very nice place for it, you know, just right there next to the UI. It looks like it does get covered up by the canvas there, so maybe I need a little bit more editing. I could like shorten it so that it doesn't last long enough to get cut off by that. So maybe I'll make it a little smaller. Make it smaller, I'll put it right there. That looks good. It doesn't get cut off by that second enhancement of the canvas, but that third one, yes. So I'm gonna back up on my frames here. I'm gonna find that moment where the canvas is gonna expand, and I'm just gonna drag to kind of shorten the duration of it so it doesn't last that long. So let's play it. So it pops out, boom, and then it disappears before that expands, and that looks really clean and fresh. That looks great. The next thing I want to do though is I'm gonna need to edit it. So I just double click the text here, and then I can start writing out my own thing. Like I want to do like step or like stage 1, and then do a little colon, and then on a new line I can say sketching and maybe sketching and concepting. Seems maybe a little bit long for the video. That might get cut off again. I might have to shorten that. Let's see. Yeah, it's a little long. So maybe I can change it. Maybe I can edit that to like stage 1, the sketch, I could also make the file itself smaller, but I don't think I want to. I think I'll just probably delete this concepting, and I can just say sketch or sketching. I think sketching looks good right there, and then it cuts off before it gets cut off by the canvas, and that looks pretty clean. Nice. Now next I'm going to find another segment where I can put another call out. I think it's probably going to be right after this, probably right here. Yeah, right here where, because obviously I'm starting to paint now. We're not in the sketching phase anymore, so I'm going to find this portion where it goes from sketch and starts to go into painting. This is like my values stage of the art, and I'm gonna actually add one here as well. So how do we do this? We can select our call out from before and go ahead and press duplicate, and then I'm just going to scroll and like find a place for this, right where the painting, I want to go like where the painting begins, right there. Let's see. Yeah, probably about right there. And the thing that's a little different about this, I think, is we're about to get into like not having a white canvas anymore, or like kind of cleaning things up. So I think actually it is like a pretty white canvas right in this area, and I know this is where I want it to be. So I'm gonna change the font color for here. So let me duplicate or double click this. I'm gonna go to text color, and I'm just gonna scroll over to black. I'm gonna change it to black so it's legible. And then I'm gonna change this one to stage 2, and I'm gonna do like adding values or something like that. I think that shouldn't be too long. Yeah, it doesn't quite reach the edge of his head there, so I think that looks good. So now I'm actually going to go through and find a couple other places where I can add some, but I've sped this part up so that you don't have to kind of watch me hunt for this, but you can see how easy it is just to kind of find some nice places and duplicate to get like a nice cohesive look to my video, and make it look very professional, very, very easy to do. So once I find, basically I decided to split this up into 4 parts. So I have like the sketching segment, the adding value segment, the adding color segment, and then we have, like I'm putting here, cleanup and details, which is like 4 really good chunks of the painting that people can take note of as I start to create. So these look pretty good. I'm kind of previewing these just to make sure they're all clean. And I think that is probably it for motion graphics. I think that those look really, really nice. I think the last thing we're gonna do is add some music. So I've got some music that I have picked out for this video, and I've got it in my little folder. So I just have to hit my plus button again, go to your media, and then I've got my little WAV file right here, and I can just drag this in or double click it and hit add, and you can see it just throws this into a nice little layer underneath all of my visual assets. And if I pull that out to kind of zoom out from my work, I can hit duplicate to I just honestly, for me personally, it's my personal preference, I just duplicate the music once I find a track that I really like, and I kind of fill it up. I do, however, want to crop it at the end here. So what I'm doing here is I'm pushing my little scrubby over to just the very end of my video right here, and with that selected, I'm just going to hit the cut button again, and I'm going to go ahead and remove that. But one thing that I have to do now is that I have to add like a fade out, because I've cut the end of this music and I don't want it to end like a hard end at the end of the video with loud music. And it also obviously is ending before the end of the song now, because I've cropped it. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a little transition to the music itself, and it's very easy. It's exactly what we did with our video. I can go into transitions and do the same fade to black that I did on the video. Literally, I just drag and drop a fade to black on the end of the music. I can kind of scroll in there just like I did on the video. I can drag that out and expand it to around the middle of my outro. And then I can play it, and as you can see, my audio levels on the right hand side there, they start to dip right when that transition goes, and that looks good. I just have to fade it out that way. It's very, very easy. And then when I zoom out here, things are looking pretty good. So I've got my music and everything, and I've got all of my animations, I've got my intro and outro, I've got my final image, and I don't think I need to use anything else here in the audio. You can see I can edit the clip volume there if I want to by scrolling left and right with that clip volume. I can mute my clip if I want, and it changes its color here if I just in case I need to know the difference between what's muted and what's not. There's also an advanced thing here where I can come in and edit the auto volume, balance sound, reduce background noise, reduce echo, enhance speech, and all that good stuff. And then I can also mess with the left and right channels if I want, which is, I think, a pretty great amount of like audio settings to be included in Rush. I think that's a lot of stuff that you can kind of do. You can get in here and edit. I don't need to edit any of these. My clip volume being at 50 is good enough for me. Especially since there's no talking in this video. If there was talking, I would probably bump down the clips to make it more balanced with my voice. But I don't really need to do it in this video, but that's how you could do it if you had those elements in yours. But the last thing I'm going to do now that I have all of my wonderful elements in is exporting. We've got all this stuff in, and now we just have to export it to go ahead and post it to social media or YouTube or wherever. And the way that you do that is you can just go up to, you see where it says edit and share here. You're in the editing panel if you're looking at your video and your stuff, but if you click share, you kind of pan over to the share where you can save locally. You can export actually to social media destinations, so you can go to like Facebook or YouTube or Instagram or Behance as you like. You can go ahead and change the file name. I'm going to change mine to like maybe Nox, Nox _ time lapse, and I'm going to go ahead and just hit export. And as you can see, it starts to render my video, and for a video that is, close to 5 or 6 minutes, it only takes me a couple minutes just to kind of render this out with all of my beautiful music and graphics and all that stuff in it. And yeah, I'm about to have a completed video. It was very quick and easy to do. I hope you enjoyed this. That's my process. And there you have it. I hope you folks have enjoyed this video today. I know I had a lot of fun putting it together for you. I can't wait to see anyone's videos that they have created with the use of this video and the advice there within. And I hope that you folks will comment with links and things to projects that you have created yourself. Again, I do want to remind you that the Creator 15 laptop from MSI is actually on sale right now. So again, please check out that link in the description below to check out that sale, and I will see you folks next time.